You talked a little yesterday about what Chris Quarter and Anthony Parker Boyd are doing in practice to try to simulate what Army does. Can you talk about that, like what it's like to, granted those guys are, at least the plan is for Chris redshirt, to have those guys in your program like that where they have those talents, they could do something like that?
No, they're doing a good job. I mean, I think our scout team in general has done a good job. You know, we have 2 more important practices come up on Wednesday and Thursday, but they've done a good job with it. And Anthony Parker Boyd is an excellent athlete. He knows how to handle the ball. And Chris Core did a lot of this in high school. Maybe not the triple option, but it was a lot of the read option and spread option game at Oakton. So we have 2 guys right now that are running it. Hopefully they'll give us a good enough look. But I think they've scored on every opponent on their opening drive, if I'm not mistaken, in 6 straight games. So they are they start fast. And that's because a lot of defenses can't simulate their speed of which they execute. So you can't give up points early. And then obviously, one of the hardest things to deal with when you play these teams is possessions. You don't get a lot of possessions because they hold the ball. And their defense is excellent, and their offense holds the ball, which is why they held Vanderbilt to 13 points.
Now, what's the biggest difference between the Army team y'all played against last year and the one you all play Saturday? Because it looked like y'all were handling that.
Well, last year we were fortunate to get them first, so we worked on it all training camp. And then that was also their first game going back to this style of offense. So I think that's probably the biggest difference. The biggest difference right now that I see is that they have a good kicker. They're excellent on defense. I think they're really physical. I think they can really run on defense, to be quite honest with you. I think they can really run and they're physical. They're disciplined. They're not giving up big plays on defense. And then on offense, they've been in this style, even though it's not this system. They've been in this style for a second consecutive year as opposed to the opening game last year. So we got them on the right time last year because if you recall, they won some games. They had Buffalo on the ropes and did some good things later in the year, but we had them at the right time. So that's been negated by where this falls this year.
Right, because you were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah, we
got to play them earlier.
play them earlier or after a bye week.
Or after the bye week.
Yeah, or during a bye week, that type of thing.
Coach, knowing that the running game could stall this weekend, have you been putting in more reps with Charlton in the passing game, and do you feel like there's going to be more pressure on him?
Well, there is more pressure just by virtue of how they play their defense. There is more pressure, so they've hit every quarterback. They've really gotten after quarterbacks. They've done a great job with that. So there is going to be more pressure. We know that right now. And to answer your first question, the running game better not stall. We can't have the running game stall. But the games unfold. You got to play. The one thing I'm happy about our team right now is we're playing the game. It's not, oh, coach, this is not the way we drew it up during the week, or, oh man, we didn't know we were going to give up a touchdown, then snap something over their head and give them 14 points like that. The old Temple team, when I first got here, would have just folded right there, would have been over. And now the guys kind of enjoy the struggle. All right, you guys got a point. All right, you guys scored. All right, let's answer back. So I think that's hopefully the personality of this team, because this will be a struggle. This is a tough team we're playing. I think they're ranked in the top 50 in 8 different categories as a team. That's a good team.
We talked to Adrian Robinson after the game, and it looks like he's really starting to give you that edge rush. And he was a pretty big recruit for you guys, the defensive MVP in the Big 33 game. And he talked to us about how exciting this is for him, because when he signed with you guys, this is what the guys envisioned, what the turnaround's starting to happen. Where's he in his development? What's he doing well right now at this point as opposed to where he was last year?
I think the biggest thing is his effort. He's a 6-second competitor, which means he goes for 6 seconds every single play. We need more of the guys to do that. He's a finisher. So no matter what, he's given it everything he has on every play. And that's why he makes so many plays. That's why he makes those strip attempts, those strip plays and sacks and all that, because he just has a tremendous motor. I think more than that, though, he's starting to develop a toolbox. He's starting to develop a skill set. He plays with low pads, and now he's starting to develop a pass rush and a counter move on top of that. And he'll be tested this week. The defensive ends against the option, whether they're tackling the dive, playing the quarterback, or sometimes even on the pitch, depending on what we're doing. have to play discipline. So this will be a great challenge for them this week.
Inkling that you didn't go out and have the kind of game you did last week. You know, sometimes you might feel in a zone or whatever the case may be. How did you feel going into that game?
I just felt like I had to do the same thing I do in practice, prepare hard, and hopefully I go out there and play the same.
Jaiquawn, what's so hard about defending an option? You guys have, I guess fortunately for you guys, you've seen this before you played the service academies like Army and Navy. But if there's one thing that you have to explain to somebody, what's the biggest key in defending what they do?
I would say being focused, keying in on what you have to do.
Does it take away, do you have to, not sit back and wait, but do you have to read them more as opposed to just straight attacking an offense like you normally would? Is that one of the biggest differences?
It's kind of like the same. You just gotta, like during the game, you gotta know your responsibility and execute.
Coach talked about your ability to tackle, make contact. Is that something that you really worked on during the summer and during the off season? What have you done throughout your career? I mean, can you speak to that in terms of head?
Yeah, every day we work on the tackling circuit, and every day I just try my hardest to get better at it, to be like the best tackler on the team.
Jaiquawn, what would you say the level of the team's confidence is at this point as you go into these games?
Right now, we got a lot of confidence, but still humble, because at any moment we can lose, and every team is just as good as us.
Darius, the offensive line, I mean, this is really the best you guys have played. You know, since you've been here, it's probably not even close. I mean, you've had a few games now where you guys haven't given up any sacks. What's the biggest difference this year in terms of confidence level, execution, and just everything that's gone into the type of year that you guys have had?
I think that we practice very hard. So whatever we do in practice, we take to the game. So we're focused, patient. We're not running around with our heads cut off. So practice.
Jaiquawn, coach said one of the things that makes the defense better maybe this year is the fact you're not out there as much, because the offense is holding on to the ball longer, sustained drives. Do you feel that too?
Yeah, I feel that's one of the main reasons the defense are playing better as a unit, because the offense is converting on third downs, giving us a chance to cheer them on, and they just gonna keep going downfield.
Darius, do you feel like you're contributing to the defense's success because of that?
Yes, definitely. In past years, they've been on the field for most of the game. Now, this year, they got time to rest. So.
In the past, I mean, like this year, obviously Temple almost the identity now with Bernard coming along, the running game. In the past, a lot of it was as Adam went, Temple went on offense. Does Temple's offense have a new identity this year without Adam DeMichael and with Vaughn at quarterback and with Bernard running the ball like he has been?
No. I say we're more as a team now. We're more as a unit.
Does it make your job a little bit easier when you have somebody like Bernard coming behind you?
It does, but I'm confident with any back behind us this year. Any of the three.
When you all get a 100-yard rusher, which I don't know, you don't study statistics right after the game to know these things maybe, but is that any source of pride for you offensive linemen, or just part of the job?
Part of the job.
Jaiquawn, what's the biggest difference between what you guys saw from Army last year on offense to what you're maybe seeing on film this year, what they're doing?
They're pretty much about the same. They run the ball a lot. Their offense is explosive, and they can score at any moment of the game.
Do they look similar to what you guys are doing? I mean, your coach just said they're winning the time of possession battle, and I think they've scored on every opening drive, every game this year, just like you guys have been starting strong. Are they similar in that way, in that they're sustaining drives and scoring early? Is that the biggest thing you guys key in on with this team?
Yeah, they can score at any moment of the game.
Any other questions?